Thank God
Yes,
it's Friday.
TGIF. That's what it is. We are happy it's Friday.
Yeah, we're happy it's Friday. All right, gentlemen, you're welcome. So, like we said, we give our updates from these Africans in the diaspora, Africans in Nigeria standpoint. This morning, gentlemen, George, I know you have that update on the Dallas shooter. We heard what happened. Can we say, George, can we say that America has become um, a center of real terrorism? George, give us Dallas
Well,
updates and all
well,
things.
it's very sad that you know. I don't know how to describe it, but it's becoming a terror state. Because
Mhm.
what is happening is a lot of people. There's so much division in America right now. It's really crazy
Okay.
because of the type of government and installation of all manner of dictatorship type of government that is taking place there. So in Dallas, a government who targeted an ICE facility killed one detainee, critically injured two others before taking his own life. This man is only 29 years old, Joshua Jan, and has been planning the attack for several months, leaving notes
Mhm.
that actually show that he intended to harm the ICE agents, not
Mhm.
detainees, and they acted alone. No ICE officer were hurt, but only investigators said that John's writing revealed that he wanted to cause terror and didn't expect to survive. So he knew he was going to take his own life, but he wanted others to go with him. Now, you see, what is happening down, down yonder from us here is very, very
Mhm.
despicable because so many things are taking place that is not
Mhm.
normal. And many Americans are basically wondering, where are we? What is happening? So, but this is where we are today. We were talking
Sure.
about Russia and the type of government that was in Russia is becoming even worse in America as we speak. Because of
Okay.
yeah. So this is
Mhm.
what we see there
Thank
now.
you. Yes. Yes. George, good update. That's you followed that story so well. Thank you so much. Giraji, yes, I asked that question. Now we can conclude that America has become the center of the new definition of terrorism. It's a new kind of terrorism. Is that not so, Raji?
Well, I won't put such a sweeping statement about
Okay.
America being center of terrorism. Yes,
Okay.
America has always been like that, where people decide sometimes to go out and to go shooting or to go hunting. So it is this. Then the situation has been made worse by the antics of Trump, especially about all these immigrants being physically taken out of the country.
Mhm.
There's serious trouble in the farmlands across America, where the usual workers who used to do the harvesting and things are afraid to even show up, and those
Okay.
who are doing minimal wage jobs are afraid to show up because they are afraid of ICE. And the whole country is now being militarized by the deployment of national guards onto civilian areas where there are
Mhm.
no no evidence of disruption. You know, so I hope this situation will ease very soon. I hope
It is
what
unfortunately,
is happening.
Mhm.
Ola Karaji, unfortunately, is not going to
Mhm.
ease very soon.
Okay.
Hagseth just called for the military generals for a meeting in
Y-
Virginia.
Yes. Yes.
You
We-
can
We're going
easily,
to
we're going
come
to
to
talk
that.
about that because you
Yes.
need to
Yes.
use your teeth to
Mhm.
count,
Seriously.
use your tongue to count your teeth to understand what
Okay.
is really going on there.
Going
So
on. All
until we
right.
get there, we'll discuss it.
So, yes, yes. So, viewers watching, this is the young man that did that havoc yesterday. He said he's not the target are not people, but the ICE agent. But man, somebody, two people, somebody has died. Two people are
And two
critically
people
injured,
injured, yes.
and he also died
Killed
of
himself.
self-inflicted gun wounds. So, it's crazy that we have this. I think everybody wants to become a hero. Is that, do we look at it like that? Is it about trying to, because they see how their name become popular? I mean, we know what just happened a few weeks ago with the Kirk story, and they see that this man becomes like a hero. You know, he's on the network, he's on every news network. He's paraded. Some people are hailing him. Some people
I don't think that's the motivation. I don't think
No,
that's the
I
motivation.
don't think
These are unusually sick people. No normal
sick.
individual with their right senses would take a gun and want to go and kill somebody else. There are political systems. There are ways of doing things. No reasonable individual who is sane would take a gun and want to unlife somebody else simply because you don't like a rule or a law that is taking place. So these people are sick. They are mentally deranged. And this is exactly
Okay.
what the only thing we can call them. Anybody that does that is not well. And look at it. The person that killed Kirk was also, there were signs. He was giving signs about what he was going to do.
Mhm.
He had conversations
Mhm.
with people that told him, he was basically showcasing that he's going to do this. And this individual, the same thing, he was writing these
Mhm.
things, showing that he was supposed to do it. So no normal, intelligent individual would take a knife or a gun to want to kill somebody else. They are deranged. They are mentally sick, unfortunately.
They are
That's the only thing we
deranged.
can say about them.
Uh-huh. Go ahead, Raji. Go ahead.
I wouldn't put it so strongly. So strongly, yes. There are so many things that is happening in the American society that could impact on a person's mental health. When
Mhm.
poverty seeps deep down, one cannot even think clearly. Now we
Mm.
also have to be very careful. We also have to be very careful about uh, a person who was going to kill somebody who now has a conversation with the people who have notes, who have things. I think sometimes I believe that the security, that method of keying in onto a person as as being somebody who has been planning it for so long, I think it makes for easy and lazy detection of the actual culprit. I
Mm.
think there have been so many cases where the actual culprit has have been shielded away. Meanwhile, some innocent person has been arrested, and all indications point to him being the planner. From
Yeah.
recent videos I saw, the shot that killed Kirk seemed to have come up from above, not from so far away. And people who were around the place where they heard the shot believe that some of them
We need
ducked
to
and
stop
were
all these
looking up.
conspiracy theories,
So,
man.
No,
We
no,
need
no, no, no,
no,
no, Reggie.
seriously. Let's
so
No, you need to stop all these
please,
conspiracy
please,
theories because it doesn't
please,
have
Yes,
any
you need
ground.
please,
to.
please.
In a civilized country like United States of America, where investigation
Mm.
is taking place, stop all this. I mean, every time you have to come from the left side and start all these conspiracy
But
theories.
actually, yes, there are decoys. There
As
are
you know,
decoys. I know
No,
there
no,
are
no.
yes.
decoys.
There are
Let
But
decoys.
us
here,
The fact
but
of the
not in
matter
this
is,
case. Not in this case.
let us
oh
have
no, man!
let us
Every
have
time
the
we turn around,
decency.
something will
Let
happen.
us have
You
the
want to point it
decency
and give a
of
conspiracy aspect
accepting
of things like that. It's
alternative
not.
Okay,
views.
George, let's hear him. George,
Let
let's
us
hear him.
have
So,
the
There is
decency.
nothing to
Let
hear
us have
here.
the decency. Let
Yeah.
us have the decency of accepting
Can we
alternative
just
views,
stay with
so
the news
that
and not go
we
into
all don't
conspiracy
sleep and
theories?
face one
Can we
side.
stay with the news?
When you start
Let's
bringing
stop
out
that.
conspiracy theories,
No,
I think you are
that's
trying
what
to
you have been
cover
doing.
the truth. Let us not know. Let us
That
stop
is your
that.
truth. That is
It
your
is
truth,
very,
not
very
the truth of what
indecent.
is
George,
going
It's
on
very,
George,
there.
very
George,
immature. Thank
when
you.
it's like this, I have to mute. Yeah,
It's okay.
please,
It's
it's
okay. Let him
okay.
continue.
Let's
But
go
I mean,
to
well,
Europe
there is
and
certain things
let's
we
come
should
to.
not allow on this. Here when things are going on, investigation is going on. The truth is out there. The people that are investigating are telling you exactly what happened. Will come with another theory. I mean, come on. It's a supposition. Who told you that? How did
Let
you
us
know that all the
let
way
us
in Nigeria? Come on, man. Thank
Okay,
you.
it's all right.
Welcome.
That
now
just closes. Baby
because
man, let's come to. Let's come
because
to.
you are
It's
in
okay.
Canada doesn't mean that you know everything. Please. Let us be decent in our
No,
discussion.
let's continue
Let
with the
us be
news.
decent in our
Stop the
discussion.
conspiracy
Please, let
theories.
us be
All right.
decent in
We
our
are
discussions.
decent. We
I'm
are
not making.
that's
I'm
this.
not making.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in Diaspora and at Home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
All right, gentlemen. Okay, so our viewers are here listening, and we need to just go to what we've come to do. In France, yesterday, something very interesting happened. Former French President Sarkozy was given 5-year sentence after a Libya case. Who has that story?
I do
Raji,
have the
you
story.
follow
Okay,
some of the
let me
story.
get
Yeah,
started here.
Raji, go
Yeah,
ahead. Okay.
Nicolas Sarkozy he's sentenced to
Mhm.
5 years in jail for criminal conspiracy tied to the illicit funds from late Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi. So what we are seeing here, he was acquitted of corruption and illegal campaign financing, but fined 100,000 euro. Sarkozy insists he's innocent, calling the verdict a serious blow to the rule of law and plans to appeal. So this is a historic event, actually, where a former French president is facing prison time. So the case from the
Mhm.
allegation that Gaddafi regime helped finance Sarkozy's 2007 election campaign.
Yeah,
So this
yeah.
is what we are seeing. But I think the man is going to he's going to appeal this particular situation. Because,
Well, there is how the case runs. So he will still go to jail, even though he will appeal. Raji, how did Africa hear that news? Because we all know what they did to Gaddafi. We know how they made Libya fall, and today Libya is now like a fragmented country. Raji, tell
marketplace.
us.
No, the French president, even from De Gaulle, from the other guy, they have all been taking money from their colonies, from African countries.
Chirac.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, they have been taking diamonds. um uh, they are even the real source of corruption of African leaders. So this is not surprising. It's not surprising. We know how Gaddafi tried to be friendly with almost every Western country. And yet,
Mm-hmm.
because they have decided that he was not going to do what he wanted to do by taking most African countries off the dollar standard, they had to make sure that they steal
Died.
the resources of the country.
Mhm.
There's over 150, not just that, they stole the resources of the country. There's over $150 billion sovereign wealth belonging to Libya that is still held up by America. America today consistently drains oil from Libya, and all the project that Gaddafi had for his country has been destroyed.
Mm.
Libya is now a
Oh,
failed state.
failed, completely failed. Gaddafi had plans for his people, but if now let's talk about this a little, gentlemen.
Okay, this is very, very
Um,
important. It is very important
yes,
because this is part of
yes,
that
yes.
system. This is that part of that system that we have been talking about. When you try to
Okay.
impose on people democratic type of government, not every country is ready for democracy. Not every country,
Mm,
and you know what they discovered that actually. And when you talk about the Arab Spring, most of the people that were ousted and killed were people that were being supported by some of these world powers, you know, what you call the
mhm,
first worlds. So Gaddafi was their friend. He was, and the country was, you know, flourishing. You know, there was no lack of anything in that country. Medical situation, people were going to school and people were being fed. And then when he came down to the point where he decided that, okay, we need to start building our own cars, we need to bring Africa to be together. Let us tear down the walls that are dividing us. Let's become one and have one currency, you know, and that's the reason why they went after him and they killed him. This is one of those conspiracies that is taking place. But thankfully, right now, Africa is rising up again. And hopefully, they will not be able, because amongst them, they are destroying one another. And as a result of that, African can now come together and rise if we are able to do so, because that's one of the major problems. Our major problem is not the foreign world, it is ourselves.
Our major problem in the foreign world is ourselves.
Look
Yes,
at all the
Raji, and
leaders that were killed, like, Libya, Iraq, and the rest of them. None of them is standing still, because when those leaders that were holding people together dies, and they knew that they were the people holding them together, and that's why they were funding them, and immediately they killed them.
The sad part is, yes, the sad part is not only France that should be indicted. Sarkozy, France. Many of them, even our past leader here in Milan and Italy, Berlusconi, was a close friend to Gaddafi, but they all added up to conspiracy that took him out. Raji, is it not very annoying that when somebody wants to bring Africa to a progressive point, they find a way to take him out? They did that to Nkrumah of Ghana. They did that. They've done to so many of our African leaders. What will you say, Raji?
Look, the Western world, especially America, is determined to hold down every country in the world that does not do what he wants it to do. That's why they are everywhere where there's strife and tribulation against the local people. The case of Congo, the case of the Republic of Congo is so saddening that America had made sure that since 1960 there had been no peace in Congo. Congo is arguably the richest country in the whole world.
Yes.
Now there's no life in Congo. The Rwandans have taken part of Congo. Burundi has taken part of Congo. Americans are in charge of everything that is happening there. They are taking their resources out without look at the case of Iraq. Iraq had nothing to do with 9/11, and then Iraq had never been in support of ISIS or Al Qaeda, and yet the Americans went against Iraq and killed more than 1 million people. They devastated the whole country, and they are still there now, taking the resources of that country onto themselves.
Let's look at it from this standpoint. We know now that during our 2023 election, that Britain gave us $5 million or pounds, right? Right?
So they say.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's not so they say. It's not so they say. It was reported in their house that they gave Nigeria £5 million. We didn't know this before. So now you can accuse, the former president of Prime Minister of Italy, from taking money. So would Britain now give Nigeria £5 million, and it is wrong for Gaddafi, who might want you to do business with you, to give money towards your election? I'm just want to understand: is this a double standard that we are opening up here? Because if Britain, why would Britain give Nigeria £5 million? What is it that they want from us to give us £5 million towards our election? And I can guarantee you, go to history, research. They have been doing so for the longest time. Only that this time, because of the controversy that was happening in Nigeria, and then he came into their House of Representatives. That's how we knew what was going on. But they've been doing it.
Okay, but in some of the European cases with Gaddafi, with Libya, it wasn't about investing, supporting election. It was back end activities behind them, and election too. But it was also some back end malpractices of fraudulent malpractices behind the scene.
Election. He was supporting a particular candidate.
The man was a diplomat, and that's exactly. Do you know something? Think about it for a moment. Many countries support a particular candidate. because it will
Yeah,
favor them.
that's true.
So there is nothing
Mhm.
illegal about that. Okay, it depends on how you do it. So
Depends
now
on
you can give money to an individual, or you can give money to the system, but yet they know who you're supporting. Come on, we all know this.
but no. Listen, there's something you need to know. Very good talk you talk, but there is something you need to know, that there are what you call illegal campaign financing. Yes, people root for a leader, they support, but there's an illegal way. There's a way that you is not accounted for. Some other sinister things are behind that support. So this is what Sarkozy is being held for: illegal campaign.
It happens in nations. It happens in the United States of America. It happens. It happens.
But it happens. But they bring out all the budgets. They bring out all the donors. They tell us how it is. They tell us what they spend. No, they do.
It is not. Always.
I have a
financing.
I have a group that during the election of America and Britain and even country Canada, there's a portal we have where we get all information so that everything is clear and porous. No illegal.
There's a certain amount.
What they want you to know.
There's a certain minimal amount that you have to donate, beyond which it becomes illegal. Then there are ways and means.
What about what Elon? If you talk like this, what about what Elon did for Trump? Elon was spending $1 million every day. $1 million every day.
He spent almost $1 billion for his campaign.
$1 million every day. $1 million every day.
Okay.
So what do
you have to say about that?
Okay, gentlemen, let's move on. Beautiful. So anyway, Sarkozy will go in. It's good that we've seen this. This will tell other world leaders that you can't get away with some things. If Berlusconi was alive, I guess he would also have faced the law, because they all did things. That's what they say, but the law catches up with everybody anytime when it's that person's time. All right, gentlemen, let's move on to Trump making 180-degree turnaround on Ukraine-Russia war. George, we heard he's telling Ukraine to fight back in any form they have. He's telling United Nations, NATO, to blow any airplane that passes the borderline of airspace. So is Trump realizing late, or is he suffering from dementia? What could have happened that he has made this kind of very sharp turnaround, gentlemen?
No, politics is you don't have a permanent friend, you don't have a permanent enemy. I mean, one thing, he loves Putin, but Putin has trusted him so many times, disappointed him so many times. Donald Trump wanted to stop the war in Ukraine with Russia. He wanted, and he genuinely was going after that, whether for personal aggrandization or whether to make himself look good for the peace Nobel Peace Prize that he's looking for. Whether or not was legitimate, he wanted to genuinely stop that war. But Putin will not allow Trump to rule over him or to do anything that will make him look subservient to Trump. No, so NATO chief Mark Rutte or something now says he's totally against Trump, because he's telling the NATO, if any airplane comes around illegally over your nations, NATO should shoot down that airplane. So that's what he was now telling them. So Rutte stressed that NATO forces are trained to first escort the planes out, but can escalate if needed. He comments that that a tougher stance ought to be taken, because what you have seen with Putin is he's testing the ground. He's testing the ground, and that's exactly what he has been doing. So this stance ought to take place, that any plane that comes illegally should be shut down, and that is exactly. I don't think he's going to try it again, because he tried it to see.
Yes. Well, yeah, right. Also, part of his turnaround is telling Turkey to stop buying Russian oil, and Yeah, he says they should also stop buying the Russian oil and some war aircraft, warfare aircraft that Russia supplies to Turkey.
No. Yeah, the Turkey is trying to buy this aircraft from US. So Donald Trump
Okay.
says US sanctions on Turkey could be lifted very soon after talks with
Mhm.
President Erdogan. So this is their second meeting,
Yes.
this week. Following a US
Yes.
discussion on Gaza, where
Mhm.
Erdogan was telling Trump to try to stop what is happening in Gaza because of
In
the
Gaza.
innocent children being killed, annihilated, hunger being used to destroy these people. So actually, Erdogan accused Israel of committing what you call complete genocide in Gaza. So, but in the Oval Office, they did not discuss it openly. They just talked about other things, and that's exactly what it is. And I believe that possibly, by God's grace, for the sake of these innocent children, that something will need to take place to stop this war in Gaza
Yeah.
with Israel. And a
Okay.
two-state solution would be
Let's hear from the African point of view. Raji, the turnaround. Let's see the clip with him and Edouard talking before he talk. So because they are the okay, gentlemen. Sorry for that loud audio. Raji, how is Africa seeing this? How do you see this? The turnaround against Russia and
There isn't much that Africa can say. Africa is always asking for peace. But if this turnaround that Trump is doing is going to make things worse. I don't understand why nations are always very happy to go to war. They are always very, very happy to go to war. Where there should be peace, you see people happy that there's going to be war. And whenever there's war, there's always tribulation for everybody involved. Now, the earlier incursions of Russian planes into NATO airspace, Estonia, Poland, and Denmark. Now, you will also remember that Russia had issued a warning to especially these three countries that if any attack comes from any NATO country on Russia in support of Ukraine, or if these three countries, because Poland seems to be the channel for most of the weapons coming into Ukraine, that if perchance these countries provide the access to Ukraine for weapons and things, then their action will be taken as an attack on Russia, and Russia will do whatever it can to protect itself, and that is what is going to happen.
Russia would do
there's no
whatever.
reason why there's no reason why there should be NATO or Europe should be so involved in this war. As for Turkey, Erdogan is facing serious trouble at home. He has been there for almost 20 years now, and he has more or less captured all opponents. So he's facing serious trouble at home, and he will do anything to stay in power. But then he's also conflicted with what is happening in Gaza. He wants to be seen to be supporting the Palestinians, but he cannot do that openly. There was a time when he was sending relief materials to Gaza, but I don't think he's doing it now. I don't know what he has been told to stop. So, but then instead of spending money to buy planes and things for protection against war, Erdogan should spend the money for the good of the Turkish people instead of preparing for war.
That's a strong one you just put out there. Well one thing we need to know is also
You gotta see
Uh-huh.
something though, because if the war, what you see with Russia and the United States of America, these countries that are close to them, like what do you call them, Turkey, they ought to be ready, because anything could happen any day, anytime, and you don't want to be left naked or found with your zippers down, when it starts. So him trying to get these aircrafts is for the defense of the country, because you have to defend your country. If not, you become a victim also.
Against who?
Don't you see what is happening around the world? Don't
Well,
you see? Don't you see the Third World War coming anytime soon? Don't you see what is really happening? If Russia insists on flying over some of these countries, like you said, and their plane is shut down, do you know what it means? Do you understand what it could lead to? I mean, come on. I mean, you shouldn't even ask that question because of the state of affairs, especially in Europe and all these areas. Of course.
You have all these groups there. You have the Al Qaeda. You have the ISIS. You have all these very, very dangerous people. Hezbollah and all of them. Hezbollah. They are all there, and any moment they can erupt. Okay, gentlemen, let's go on the break. When we come back, we're coming to have a 1 minute of silence for a friend, a Nigerian businessman that passed away. But before then, let's have this short break. We'll be back. Thank you.
In a world where news flies around every minute, you need the ability to relate and connect with what matters and stay up to date. Schengen Story Media News Echoes program is Africans in diaspora and at home's leading English news network, one of the most trusted, respected sources for news updates on current affairs as they affect global Africa.
A year ago, I wrote a book titled The Final Solution, and I was trying to say to the rest of the world that there are challenges ahead. Now, a prophecy did come, and that prophecy is coming to pass. But I'm telling you, the final solution has been found many years ago in the Bible, because the Bible simply says righteousness exalts a nation and sin is a reproach to the people. So I want you to know that you can get solutions to problems in Ukraine, in Russia, in Nigeria, indeed all parts of the world. We need that solution, and the solution is straightforward. Please get a copy of my book. It's the Final Solution by Bishop Segun Johnson, and you can find it in Kindle, in Amazon. Just type Bishop Segun Johnson, The Final Solution. It's very, very small book you can read within 2 hours, but it contains the final solution. Do get a copy. Not getting it is doing disservice to humanity. Don't forget The Final Solution.
Hi there, I'm Mary Keurig, and I am a businesswoman in the United States, but I'm also the Global Content Vice President for the Sub-Saharan Open University in Nigeria. I could not be prouder to work with Dr. Osita Anamika and his team on helping to create not just entrepreneurs and skill-based talent that will get out into the workforce and make a living for themselves, but also young leaders. And to that end, with this integrity-rich university environment that's accredited now, and it's just an amazing opportunity for anyone there of any age to jump on board and learn, we want to let you know about a new offering that we have. We have a global governance and diplomacy course now provided by a whole team of people that crosses several countries to put together these resources and lots of great information for those of you who might be on the path toward public service and diplomatic service, NGO leadership, that sort of thing. We hope that you will walk through this open door and enjoy.
Looking for the right answers to hard and sometimes confusing global events? Look no further. SSM's team brings unique perspectives from across the globe. Our in-depth independent reporting is to make you better understand the world as we evolve.
Welcome back, viewers. Thank you for tuning in. George, Raji, we're here on our Friday Global Update. Gentlemen, a sad one. During the week, Nigeria lost a businessman, Olorogun Oscar Ibru, was age 67. Olorogun Oscar Ibru was an industrialist. He was the Ibru organization chairman, and what the news says is that he had a brief illness. So Olorogun, he revealed that he passed away after that brief illness. Still asking what was that brief illness? I mean, what could have happened? But that's what we heard. So Olorogun was a central figure in the Nigerian corporate landscape. He was very prominent in a lot of things, businesses, expanding the family's conglomerate that was established by the father, Michael Ibru. But sadly, Olorogun Oscar passed on. Gentlemen, we have just a moment of silence for this businessman, and we'll come to talk about him. Thank you. Yes, may his soul rests in peace.
Perfect peace. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. So, G, what do you know about this businessman? What can you say? Do you have any story on him?
It was. I want to use the present tense for him. He is indeed my friend's father, my friend's daughter's father-in-law, the Akinolas, and he was a classy person, a gentleman who had no airs around him. He's very, very affable and somebody you can trust, you can depend on. He doesn't look down. I don't think he looked down on anybody because of the world, because he knew where he came from. He was the scion of the Hebrew family. It's a terrible, terrible loss. I didn't know he was this young. I didn't know he was this young. I used to think that he was probably in his mid-70s. It's surprising to hear that he was only 67. And that also indicates to us that the life span of many Nigerians is coming down. It's coming down, and it doesn't matter whether you are rich or poor. It's affecting both the rich and the poor, because his father lived to be more than 80, and it is expected that the children will live longer than the fathers. Unfortunately, he passed on.
Yes. Thank you. Also, take note that the sister, one of the sister is in this network. The direct sister,
Yes, I know.
Obooks, is with us here. Even though she's on the back end, she's on the board of the trustee of SSM. So, but it's a sad loss. Yes, the family are all the senior ones mainly are my friends. Gloria, Obooks, and Elvina. We've come some time now. I know them. So when I had this, it was really shocking. and I know Oscar, even though I'm not close to him, but sad. He's like the one that now, I mean, like a father figure for all of them, you know. Yes, he is. So it's really, really sad. George, we lost George there. So that's it. Viewers, Olorogun Oscar Ibru, the billionaire industrialist and chairman of the Ibru organization, has died at the age of 67. Thank you. All right, so let's move on now. Raji, we heard that China is coming to build African first insulin plant in Nigeria. African first insulin plant in Nigeria. So, what? Yes, George here. African first insulin plant in Nigeria. Did you hear that too? You said China is coming to build that.
Yes,
that will.
I heard about it. I heard about it, and I really don't understand the significance of that insulin plant. Rather than finding a prevention to whatever is causing so much diabetes in the country, we are now looking for a chemical solution to that. I really don't see how it is going to affect the economy of this country positively.
No, I'm shocked at what you just said. Okay, George is here. George is your network.
It is my opinion.
Come on.
It is my
George, are you
okay? Go on with your own opinion.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, George. Go ahead, George.
Okay. What we're saying.
We lost you when we were doing the tribute to.
You know, may his soul rest in perfect peace. My condolences to the family.
Yes.
I'm hearing myself. Can you see if you can mute one of the?
No, it's one that is here. It's just you here. This one.
Okay.
So maybe you need to switch off from your end.
I don't know where else to switch off because I'm hearing myself.
Okay, I've muted off. But we are hearing you clear. We're not. Everything looks good. Your visuals, your audios, everything.
Okay. So what we've been crying about is we've been trying to say that we need, instead of exporting raw materials out of our country, we need to build factories in Nigeria. Now, China is now proposing to build an insulin factory in Nigeria, and we are saying we don't know why. It's going to create jobs, and the insulin will be available. We don't have to import insulin, and possibly the government might be able to now, because of how cheap it could be, to supply insulin to diabetic patients, which also will save a lot of lives. I don't understand why anybody will say, I don't understand why. These are things we've been crying about. We've been crying and saying, hey, we need factories in Nigeria. We want to manufacture our own, products and ship them outside. Now, if we are able to do this in Nigeria, what will now end up happening is we can supply insulin to a lot of African countries and a lot of other countries also. So, I mean, this is a win-win situation for us. And it's a fantastic, beautiful idea that, the Tinubu government is able to do this. So I applaud them highly. Very, very wonderful news, as a matter of fact.
Very, very wonderful news for me too. And also added to the fact that, like they said, this will deepen bilateral strategic partnership with the two countries. And also Nigeria will not be that center to have this product, the insulin. And we know what insulin does. We know the advantage, how it helps diabetic patients and some other sicknesses. So, Raji, tell us more. Why don't you like this idea? Why? Let's know. It's all different opinions.
You guys just go off a tangent.
Okay. Sorry for that. Sorry for that.
I did not see any significance in an insulin plant in Nigeria. How it's going to help our economy. Now, I would have been happier if it was something that is more interesting to me. If it were like a battery factory or a solar panel factory, because I've been in the medical field. I used to work with the faculty of pharmacy. And I'm almost always interested in the root cause of diseases rather than the drugs that you have to use to maintain it. Because there's nobody who has diabetes who has been cured by insulin. So why do you have a lot of diabetes cases in Nigeria? So much so that an insulin factory is necessary for us. That is the question I'm asking. I'm asking about the relative importance of that.
Well, George, Raji is making sense. Yeah, it's making sense.
Making what
yeah,
sense?
somehow. No, the sense there is the talk of
my
talk
mom
of-
died. My mom died of diabetic coma because there was no hospital where that could take him because it was an emergency. Okay, so now we're talking about, we don't know what Ibru died of. Was it because he couldn't manage his diabetic condition? We have seen a lot of people die because they were unable to manage their sugar level and their diabetic condition. So what I don't understand is, a factory is coming to Nigeria, a factory that can help the locals and also create jobs and also can be exported out of Nigeria to other countries to help our GDP. And we're saying we don't understand. Yeah, if there is a cure for diabetes, that's okay. But if there is no cure for now, the next best thing is to find a way to save lives. That's it.
What is the root cause? What causes diabetes in the first instance? How is the diabetes?
Sugar level in the blood. Sugar level in the blood. So now
it's not just sugar level.
And there is no cure for it. Would you not now allow the factory to be built in your country so that they can actually be able to access these things?
You don't even understand how diabetes comes up.
I do
Okay,
know about
sugar level.
So
let us go on to more important things.
Yes, but there are
instead of
two
talking
types
to each
of the
other's mouth.
diabetes.
Yes.
There's the one that you are born with, which can't be cured unless God probably in His divine mercy cures
There's nothing you are born with.
No, there's a type 1 diabetes. It's called juvenile diabetes. It's born, you're born with it. Then there's a type 2 that majority of people have. People can control their food intake, their sugar intake, and they end up with that. But the type 1 is something you can't cure. You can't cure it. You can only contain it, go along with it. So, but the factory coming, an insulin factory coming to Nigeria is a beautiful idea because a lot of people are dying. Yes, a lot of people are dying of diabetes. At least medicine will be made cheap. We'll be selling to Africa, other parts of Africa. Because remember, Raji, remember that USAID, the United States support for medicals, have been cut off. So you're having, that's why the debt is raging now in Africa. Because some of the medicines that America through the USAID supporting.
You have to also understand that USAID was not for aid. The aid in the USAID was not for aid.
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking medicines where it's available in most parts of Africa through that means.
The more we Africans,
we should not look at ways of our own.
The more we Africans stop taking aid and depend more on ourselves, the better for us.
Okay,
yes.
This is
hardly any aid that has helped Africa.
To build a factory in your own country where you don't have to take aids anymore. This is you just complaining. A lot of people are dying early. Both the rich and the poor. You're just complaining, and the factory is being brought into your own coffers in your own land, where insulin will be produced to disallow a lot of people from dying from diabetic conditions, and you're saying you don't see the need for it? Come on.
All right, gentlemen, it's okay. Let's move on. George, we saw something another yesterday. I think it was Wednesday. I don't know. Tell us, what is this?
Leave her. This is a roadway. Leave her. This is a roadway for emergency service. If we have fire or whatever, you're not allowed here. I'm a resident here. Peace, yes, freedom, yes.
Hey, you don't fucking touch her.
Don't fucking touch me.
Don't touch her. You're the one who's touching her. Don't touch her.
Don't move where I'm walking.
And you don't come and harass us and then
live
ask us this
here,
bullshit.
and this roadway is against the law to block. In Canada, it's against the law.
All right, sorry for that. Yes, this is similar to what happened in Milan on Monday, where the protest for free Palestine took a different dimension, violence and destruction of structures. George, did they speak beyond this point? This is right there in Toronto too.
It was just two groups of people, one for and one against. We're just basically trying to struggle over, because when the people pro-Palestinians came out, pro-Israelis came out also. So that's what you saw. There was a little squabble between the two, but police was able to, they were able to, contain. And there was no violence that took place. There was no destruction of properties. It was nothing but a civil protest. But the pros and the people against were just basically clashing. That's all it was.
That's all it was. Raji, we're seeing more of these whole free Palestinian thing all around the world. And I really don't know why they will be going to some other countries to say free Palestinians, when even Canada is also going to probably make Palestinian states recognized. So why not just let them let things play on its own? Right? What do you think? What do you think about this?
The people, I believe, have been so pushed to the wall. The war has been going on for more than 2 years with daily deaths. Canada, the US, Britain, and France have been supporting Israeli bombardment of Gaza and the West Bank. And therefore, if there are people there, most of them are even non-Palestinians who come out to protest that, look, these people must be freed. It is very, very surprising to me that the world morality has gone so low that people now have to protest against genocide. Genocide shouldn't have happened in the first instance.
It happened in Biafra.
If the people are protesting against genocide, it's very sad, and it's an indication of how low world morality has gone.
It happened in Biafra. It happened when a white man killed himself in the presence of everybody, because Awolowo actually sanctioned, using hunger strike against Biafrans. It happened, and that's a fact. You can't be surprised now that people are rising up. The truth stands a taste of time. No. I'm just saying you don't know why it's happening now. I say it happened in Biafra. Yes, it did.
Okay.
And I'm telling you that it didn't happen in Biafra.
Yes, it did.
Propaganda.
Yes, it did. It was not. White man killed himself over that in New York.
It was actually Ojukwu who was using it as propaganda, starving his people as propaganda.
Ojukwu is no. That's not the story, Raju.
All right, gentlemen, you're devoid of the truth. You're devoid of the truth.
Let us go to this matter.
You are devoid of the truth, Allah. You are devoid of the truth.
Let's wrap up today's broadcast. There is something. Hear this.
No hay raza superior, señores. No hay pueblo elegido de Dios. No lo es ni Estados Unidos ni Israel. Ignorantes fundamentalistas de extrema derecha piensan así. El pueblo elegido de Dios es la humanidad toda. Usan la migración como excusa para no hacer nada contra la crisis climática que barre cada día con la vida. Buscan la migración para ganar.
What you just heard is the president of Colombia, Gustavo Petro, saying that there is no superior race. There is no chosen people of God. There is neither the United States nor Israel. The chosen people of God is all of humanity. This is those words he just said. Now, let's wrap up with this. George, do you believe that all men are equal? Nobody should be superior. Nobody should say, it's me, I'm the man, I'm the superpower, it's my reign, it's my time, my dominion, and all of that. Do you believe so? That was a very powerful speech at the United Nations gathering yesterday. And he was...
It was a very powerful speech, and it's actually, when it comes down to humanity, we are all equal in the eyes of God. But God has his own family too, that he favors. So let's not mistake in that. So in the world today, you have, the church, which is the family of God. Then you have the Gentiles, and then you have Israel. So that's what we believe according to our own scriptures and our Bible. There are three divisions: the Israel, the church, and the world, the Gentiles. So that's what it is.
So who's in the top ladder? In the ladder, the scale of ladder, who stands at the top?
Say that again.
The scale of dimension, who's at the top in that three group you just called? Who stands at the top? Who's the second? And who's the third?
God favors his family. And then Israel will come back again eventually. And this is what you're seeing in Gaza Strip, because Israel is claiming their land that they believe that God gave them. Biblically, it is true. It was given to them. They were ousted in it, in 1870. I mean, during Emperor Constantine.
George, what about if they tell you that the Israel that you see today are mostly not the real Israel? Do you know about that?
They went into the nations. They mingled with other nations. They mingled with other nations. But when, according to prophecy, in 1948, they started coming back again. Can a nation be born again according to the Bible in the book of Isaiah?
Let's keep that.
So all right, Reggie. We know that there are three groups of people in the world today, biblically: the church, which is the family of God; Israel, which is a covenant by Abraham; and then the Gentile nations. That's what I believe. But we are all equal in here.
Right, Raji. Raji, tell us. Sorry, George. Let's hear Raji. Are there any superior race?
The world that we know, the world that we live in now, is not controlled by any God of the Bible or any holy book. Yes, I'm not a Christian. I'm not a Muslim. I'm a human being, and I believe that all humans are equal before anybody. We are all equal. No one is superior to the other.
All right, that's your own personal view.
By the way,
let's go.
Did you see what happened? A false prophet in South Africa who said that on the 23rd that there is going to be rapture, and then all of a sudden, I saw it was posted yesterday, and these are what we need to eradicate these false prophets that are always talking and want to grab their own people and do their own thing. And I can guarantee you, I listened to that man. I went and searched him out and I was listening. He was so emphatic that actually he was saying that if it doesn't happen, hold him responsible. We need to find that man and bring him out in the street and flog him very well. According to the Jewish tradition, we need to flog that man because he's nothing but a false prophet.
Thank you. Let's have those final words for today as we go. Raji, it's been nice having you here. Tell us, what do you tell the viewers?
I only hope that religion will not mess up the minds of people to be able to for them to think that they are superior to anybody, and therefore to justify killing, murder, starvation being streamlined on the social media. I don't think there's any God that is so capricious as to be that wicked to his own creations. Therefore, I pray that there will be peace in the mind of all people, and then world morality will be uplifted.
Okay, thank you.
That we cannot.
Thank you, Raji. Thank you, Georgie.
Well,
Go ahead.
you know, once again, my allegiance is to where I'm living. Charity begins at home. I pray for the country of Canada, that there will be peace and prosperity in this nation. I pray for my beloved country, Nigeria, and the president and the leaders in both countries, that there will be peace. I pray for United States of America and Donald Trump, that God will grant him the wisdom to effectively and efficiently rule that nation, because they seem to be the one controlling a lot of things. So my prayer is that let there be peace on this earth, and let there be prosperity, that we may get along and love one another with the love of God. That's all I pray for. And may we all have a beautiful, wonderful weekend. Wonderful weekend.
Thank you. God bless you guys. Thank you, gentlemen. You've been awesome coming on the stream to give us the updates. Yes, we have some differences, different opinion, different views, but at least, yes,
it will always happen. It will always happen.
God bless you, gentlemen. Have a beautiful weekend too. Raji, thank you. Thank you. Georgie.
Thank you.
Yes, my brother.
Bye.